My AFSEE project was focused on building an online platform for a workers' movement in Western India. So the union I work for organizes these workers, and my AFSEE project was focused on building an online resource house that puts together evidence, knowledge, and voice from the ground on some of the issues that the workers want the world to know about them. The project essentially involved doing a lot of work with the leaders of the trade union, some of the youth from that area that have experienced disease and decimation for many generations. The sense-making of experiences, the holding of dialogical spaces was sort of part of the design right from the beginning. It involved activities like finding a voice, going through rounds of dialogue, filming, interviewing, systematizing of knowledge to be able to house this online platform. What I didn't expect was for these spaces to become such charged spaces. And it's my challenge as a facilitator to be able to actually draw on these and infuse the final output with what comes out of these highly charged conversations.
My project was breaking the bias, engaging girls in STEM. And what I did was to carry out a focus group to determine what the problem was and have seminars where I had young girls interact with female professionals in STEM and also some robotics class. Takeaways from that training was what the girls used to go back to their communities, identify problems, and create projects, science projects. Initially, I just reached out to teachers that I knew had a passion for STEM too, and it was overwhelming. The support was great. The girls were very interested because they were more or less like ambassadors when they went back to their school to tell other people about what they have learned and also to teach other girls what they have learned too in their different schools, and also to use STEM to solve problems in their environment.
For the fellowship project, I developed a collective series of focus group discussions around the topic of feminist critiques on economic policy, and specifically on the measure of GDP, which is very central in a lot of economic policy. So one of the key ideas I had around the project was also to really create a space for feminist activists to reflect, especially from different places around the world, to really stand still and take a moment to look at economic policies that maybe they've worked on, or specific gender equality policies they worked on that are actually impacted or restricted by the sort of neoliberal economic framework that we live in, basically. So this is one of the outputs of my fellowship project. It's an art book called Scene. It has art from 5 artists in the Global South, from Brazil, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Uganda, and Kenya. And it includes a lot of the quotes from 3 group discussions that we had with activists from around the world working on feminist issues.
My project it's about social housing and the private neighborhoods, and it was about working in workshops with children. The aim was to develop methodologies with them about how multi-generational families live and think about the past, the present, and the future of the communities. The main lesson that I've learned and what I learned from the children is that they really need to be heard. For them and for the outcome of any project it's key to get away from an adult-centric view of things and get everyone to be involved in how the environment is built and developed.
My project is called the Fiscal Revolution. It's a project that involves 2 main stages. One is to build and to develop a concept on fiscal justice and how we can use fiscal justice to switch things up in society. And the second part is the development of a game and of art materials to talk about these issues. So it's a board game where you can get involved with conversations and decisions on public money and how it affects the future of our societies. I think the greatest lesson from this project is that technocratic decisions cannot be imposed on the population from a top-bottom perspective, that any change, any social change, any political, economic change that you want in society that you want in a daily basis needs to be from a society yearning for change.